Alright, so in this video, I'm going to tell you guys the best way to get every single movie skin in the Jurassic World event in Dinosaur Simulator. And right off the bat, let's first talk about the prices, because I think I speak for everyone when I say the prices are just not it. Some of the prices are actually pretty reasonable, like the movie Parasaurolophus, which only costs around 15,000 DNA, but some of these, like the Titanosaur or the Mosasaur, can go up to 250,000 DNA, which I think is just way too much. But luckily, they are doing something about that. Chicken Engineer said that he is going to decrease the prices by a bit and increase the amount of DNA you get from discarding. And let me explain what that means. So first of all, I assume you guys know how to get amber, but if you don't, you pretty much just walk around the map until you see something like this, and then you press F to interact, and then you will get a piece of amber. The area where the amber spawns the most is probably around this center area. So if I open the map, that's like around this entire area, which is like a huge radius. You should be able to find amber no problem. The amount of amber that spawns on a map is tied to the amount of players in the server. So you can see I'm in a pretty big server right now, so there should be plenty of amber that spawns. And what I like to do is to go to the maps and then click default map, and then only check in roleplay servers, and then look for a roleplay server with a lot of people like this one. Unfortunately, this one looks like it's full, but you want to go to a roleplay server so you don't have to worry about people attacking you. You can see my hunger and thirst are both at 0, and I'm not taking any damage at all. And most people in big roleplay servers are AFK, like these Argentinosaurus right here, so you don't really have to worry about them stealing all your amber. But amber spawns so commonly that you can just find it in any server really, so that shouldn't be an issue at all. But once you have amber, you want to click on this little icon, and when you press extract amber, it gives you the DNA of a dino that is a movie skin. So there's actually different rarities to the skins. If I spam click here, you can see I'm getting stuff like Pteranodon, Parasaurolophus, Allosaurus a lot. These I think are the more common ones. And then stuff like the Spinosaurus or the T-Rex, I think that's like more uncommon. And the reason why that's important is if you go to DNA storage right here, which is infinite by the way, you can see I have a billion different DNAs from different dinos, so you don't have to worry about this getting overflooded. And let's just say I wanted to discard a Carnotaurus like this. It rewarded me with 50 DNA currency when I discarded that Carnotaurus. And let's just say I want to discard a Hetzkopteryx next. You can see it gave me 75 DNA this time. And the reason for that is because Carno and Hetzkopteryx are on two different rarities. And if we read Chicken Engineer's message here, it says that DNA components will have increased discarded rewards. So that means after the future update, we'll get more DNA for discarding a dino. So I'm assuming Carno is common. That means I'll probably get 100 DNA for discarding this. And I'm assuming the Hetzkopteryx is an uncommon, so that means I'll get 250 DNA currency for discarding a Hetzkopteryx DNA. And you can see it goes up, so rare will go for 500, ultra rare 2,500, and legendary will go for 5,000. So this is just a guess, but I think Troodon or Velociraptor are in rare, and T-Rex and Spino might be in ultra rare, and legendary is probably like the Titanosaur or Mosasaur. I personally think the Mosasaurus is the rarest DNA because I only have one copy in my entire inventory. And the reason why this is important is because you could essentially just farm amber and then extract the DNA from it like this. And then after the update, you can discard a lot of these excess DNA. So since I already have the movie Pteranodon, I could easily just discard this and get some DNA out of it. And if I were to grind this through, I could actually make a lot of DNA from just discarding dino DNAs like this. Alright, so next up we're going to talk about the discount system. So you'll notice that we have a total of 6 different slots here. And even though we have 6 slots, we can actually only use one, which is the blue first slot right here. So let's just say we're trying to incubate an Allosaurus. So we would place that on our first slot. You can see it tells us how much it costs and the time it takes. And the way that the other slots work is that if you put in other dino DNA in these slots, so let's just say I put the Hetzkopteryx right here, it reduces the cost by 5%. And this is stackable up to 25%. So if we add another dino here, it becomes 10%. Add another one, it becomes 15. Add another one, it becomes 20, and maxes out at 25. So it does not matter what dino is in these sacrificial slots, which are going to be the gray slots at all. It's just there to decrease the cost. And in Chicken Engineer's message, he mentions that the prices will be decreased. And when he means from 25% to 40%, this is what he means. So instead of 25% being the max discount, it'll be 40%. But unfortunately, this means that the base price doesn't change. So the Allosaurus has a base price of 15,000. This will stay the same even after the update. The only thing that'll change is the discount price, which I know is unfortunate. I think they should just nerf the base price to begin with, but it's still better than nothing. Okay, next up, I'm going to go over the terminals, which are these three things right up here. And basically the terminals subtract the time it takes by 10% each. And the way to activate the terminals is going on the map right here. You can see two of them are already on the map. That's going to be Lab 2 right here and Lab 1 right here. All you have to do is fly to it. I'm going to do this in the video so you guys know what it looks like. First, let's go to Lab 1, which should be this way. Alright, once you're at Lab 1, you want to go inside here and you'll find this computer right here. Press F to activate, and there you go. I've activated the 10% incubation time applied. So when you go back to the incubation thing, you can see this one is green. And the way this works is that it will reset every time I incubate a dino. So currently this 10% to time will apply to this Troodon that I'm about to incubate, but after it's done, I have to reactivate it again. Okay, now let's head to Lab 2, which should be around this area of the map. It's a little cut off. Alright, so this is what Lab 2 looks like in the inside. It's pretty much the same as Lab 1, and you'll find this computer right here. Activate the terminal, and there you go. You can see now there's 2 activations, and my time goes down by 20%. The hardest lab to find is going to be Lab 3, which is somewhere down here. It's not marked on the map as a lab, so you're just going to have to fly this way. So even though Lab 3 isn't marked on the map as a lab, it will show up on the map as this giant structure here, and here is what it looks like. You can tell it looks completely different from the other labs. Once you get here, you want to head to this little area down here, and then you want to go down this path right here. And then you should end up in this room, which you want to fly to this area over here, and here should be the last computer, which you press F to activate, and you will activate the last terminal. Each time you activate the terminal, it will reward you with 500 DNA, which is nice. And you can see here now that I have all 3 activated, my time will be reduced by 30%. So the last thing I want to address is the Distortus Rex and the Mutadon. For the Distortus Rex, I think it's actually fairly simple in concept. You press the blue add button, and then you put a T-Rex DNA, and then you press incubate. I don't think it matters if the other slots are filled. These will only benefit you by decreasing the amount of DNA you have to pay. Every time you incubate a T-Rex, you will have a 5% chance of obtaining the D-Rex. So the issue with that is that it's completely RNG based. So if I were to incubate this T-Rex right now, there's a 5% chance it ends up being a D-Rex, right? But then there's also a 95% chance that it doesn't. So that means I have to keep incubating T-Rexes until I get lucky enough and land on that 5% and obtain the D-Rex, which to some people, they might just get it first try. But to others, they might spend hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of DNA until they are able to obtain the Distortus Rex. And now let's talk about the Mutadon. So the Mutadon, you actually need 2 DNAs. I believe it's a Pteranodon and a Velociraptor DNA. And this is technically all you need for the Mutadon. You spend around 14,000 DNA, and then have the Velociraptor in one of the gray slots, and then press incubate. And like the D-Rex, this is a 5% chance. So again, completely RNG based. You might get really lucky and get it first try, or you might not and spend like 100,000 DNA before you get it. Now, I think this does work the other way around. So if I were to change the Pteranodon to Velociraptor and the Velociraptor to Pteranodon, I think it still gives the same amount of chance for Mutadon, but you're spending more DNA because Velociraptor is going to be your main dino. So there's really no reason to do this if you already own Velociraptor. Adding anything to the other slots don't affect the outcome. I don't think if I were to add a bunch of Pteranodons or Velociraptors, my chances would go up. It would just make the DNA cost a bit cheaper. So that's how you get the D-Rex and the Mutadon, completely RNG based. Not a big fan of the obtainment method. So now you might be asking, what should I do right now? So what you should do right now is go around the map and collect amber and then extract the amber so you get DNA. And the reason for that is because after the update drops, the dino DNA here will give you a lot more currency DNA if you were to discard it, and the prices will be cheaper if you add more to the discard slots right here. It'll go down by 40% rather than 25%. So in other words, there's no real reason to incubate right now. The smartest move right now, if you want to save DNA, is to just find Amber, extract the DNA, and then wait for the update so you can make some DNA by discarding the dinos. And that's pretty much it. I know the prices are still pretty hefty. In my opinion, they should just decrease the base price rather than the discounted price. Basically, get your Amber up, get your DNA up. That way you have enough to incubate multiple dinos. And yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope it helped. I know the event is pretty tough right now, but it should get a lot better after they drop that second update. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.